in my career, my illustrious career over the years, I was also a photo editor. So I had to like pick photos for like ad placements and everything else. And so I got really good at like telling a story with photos and images and illustrations and stuff like that. And I apply that now to my thumbnails.
It wasn't that just because of out of necessity originally, because you would create all the banners for the bands.
Oh yeah. You want to know that? Oh, okay. So here's my story on my first enter into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
As you know, I was talking about my rock star 20s back in the days. This was like the late 80s, early 90s. Okay. And so there is no internet. Imagine a time and there is no internet and there is no, imagine a world with no digital media.
No, protect me.
Yes. So if you wanted to be in a band, and remember, like, you got to remember that when I was sort of in my come up days, it was like, that was the wind down right before the grunge scene and Nirvana like killed off everybody's, record deals. But that was like 93. So between like 88 to like
was that the end of like Hairspray bands?
Yeah. I mean, there was this sort of last dying gasps of it, like right around 1990. But so anyways, the Hollywood metal scene at that time, the only way you could really advertise your band was with flyers, like handbills, leaflets, right? Yeah. And I can remember I was like, oh, this is great. I can do this for the band. So I was like in several different bands. And so I was the guy that was always tasked with doing the flyers, right? So I loved drawing the Metallica logo and Iron Maiden logo when I was in high school, right? So I'm like, I can do this. And so I would, like, whatever band I was in, I always was responsible for the logos. I was always responsible for the media kind of thing. And it turned out that I would do like full on illustrations. I still have some of them around here. But I was doing these full on illustrations, and like I noticed that when I was at the clubs and I was waiting in line or I was about to do a gig or something, I would see all these flyers just all over the sidewalk, because people would just grab a flyer and, hey, come see my band, we're really great, yeah, great, and they just toss it, right? And unless you like plastered onto a wall, a telephone pole or something like that, which of course the next week another guy puts his over yours. Yeah. So, but here's what I did. I'm like. So I looked at all this and I looked at the flyers and I go, these flyers are shit. Like, and so I looked, because they were just like typeset stuff, or like they were like really typeset stuff. And so I'm looking at this, I'm like, people don't know how to do this. So I want my bands to look the best they could, so people will hang on to the flyer, right?
Yeah.
Well, turns out that they did. They really liked what I was doing. It could be like, skulls and wings and teeth and dragons and shit like that, right?
Would you like blacken the whole page out?
I could. I mean, in some of them actually, yes. Or we would get black and white shots of the band, and then I would find some way I was actually doing paste up of our flyers. I took it to like the next degree, like nobody was doing. And so as a result, everybody was really into our flyers to the point where like some of these guys were like collecting my like comic
like
books
Pokemon
and stuff,
cards, like
right?
Blastoises.
And so as a result, what happened was other people in other bands that we were like playing with at the time, like you might play Gazzari's and there's like 4 other bands there, and they see you're thinking, oh man, he's really good. Who does your flyers? I'm like, that'd be me. Like, can you do ours? I'm like, yeah, but you give me some money. Like I paid off a lot of our demo tapes and our demo stuff because I made money from other bands by giving them like, okay, here's your flyer copy, go take it to the Xerox and go to Kinko's and
yo, who does your thumbnails? I do.
I know. I still, and I love that, because that's the same thing that I get today. Right. Is when people go, man, these thumbnails are on point. Like, this is the best one yet. I love it, because I'm always trying to top the last one.
Yeah.
And so people will go, man, these are the Andrew Tate one was of course a really great one. I did one with Jason Hartman not too long ago, and yes, all I did was just source the illustration, but like I'm known for my thumbnails,
right? And
so as a result, people be in they'll be in the 2 most common comments I get in my shows is, who does your thumbnails, and who does the music for the intro and the outro, and the answer to both is the same.
Yeah,
this guy.
Yeah.